a very little girl was to be a writer, actually.
Oh.
So as it turns out, I am now living the dream. But I did not. That was when I was quite young, and as I got a little bit older, my next dream was to be a dancer. I wanted to be a ballet dancer, and I pursued that quite seriously for some time, up until really into my late teens. I had hopes of perhaps being a professional ballet dancer, but as I'm sure you know, that is any type of life where you're devoted to the arts. It's just you have to have absolute commitment. I mean, there would have been no college, there would have been no other job. I would have had to just commit to that, and I wasn't willing to. In the end, I wanted to go to college, and I wanted to explore the world and explore other things. And so I gave up the idea of being a dancer, went to college. I went to Swarthmore College, which is a liberal arts college outside of Philadelphia. Continued to dance, as a hobby, but so I didn't totally give it up, but I knew I wasn't going to be a professional dancer. And at college, I found my way into philosophy. So I was a philosophy major, which was prompted by a wonderful professor who was at Swarthmore, and he just was such a wonderful teacher and inspired me and many other people to be philosophy majors. So I majored in philosophy, minored in English literature, and then went on after college to graduate school thinking that I would get a PhD in philosophy. So I went to the University of Pittsburgh, which had, at the time, still has one of the top philosophy programs, doctoral programs in the country. And I was there for 2 years, met a guy there, my husband-to-be, and we both decided together, we were both in the same PhD program, but we both decided at the same time that this was not for us. We didn't want to do that. So we both left together, went out to Los Angeles and kind of hung around in LA for a while. And Matt, who wasn't yet my husband, but soon would be, he decided to eventually to go back into and pursue his PhD in political theory. I decided not to do that, didn't know what I was going to do, but just figured, well, I'll just, when we were in Los Angeles, I'd gotten a job as a copy editor, because I was in English, but, I had a minor in English literature. I was, this is something that I could do. So I had a job as a copy editor in LA. But then Matt decided he was going to continue to pursue his PhD. He applied to Boston College, got into their political theory program, and so we moved across the country again, moved to Boston, got married. He was in his PhD program, and I, again, needed a job. So I found a job just by chance as a copy editor at this company called the Forum Corporation. No interest whatsoever in, I didn't even know what they did. I remember going in for my interview, and I was totally unprepared. I was just like, okay, here's this job. It was in, a classified ad. This was back in, 1989. Still, you look in the paper for a job, right? And so there was the classified ad saying, we need an editor. I didn't even think I was qualified necessarily, but Matt said, no, you should apply, yeah, go do it. So I applied, I got an interview, I went to the interview, I was late, I was, it was a disaster. I couldn't find the place, I was sweating, and then I got there and I was like, okay, well, what does this company do anyway? And the HR manager who was interviewing me, she said, "Oh, yes, a Forum Corporation. So we are a consulting, research, and training company. So we do consulting, research, and training." And that didn't really make sense to me, but I just said, "Oh, okay." All I knew was that they had this job, and I had had some experience as an editor, so all right. But anyway, I got the job, and I came in on the first day, started as an editor, and 25 years later, I'd had this whole career at this company, which is a wonderful, wonderful place, with fabulous leaders and really dedicated to developing their employees.
Wow.